Hello, how are you? Another fishing trip today. Where are we? Friday. We are on the North Norfolk shingle today, trying out this new rod, Sea Hunter Bass 116 SB. So that's the 4-ounce version. I got it dirt cheap. I got it for about 50 quid. That's the only reason why I brought it. I just fancied a sort of a secondary light sort of light bass rod for walking long distances, something nice and light. So we're just giving that a go. We've just done some lugworm. That's what we got. I dug a load of lug in there. Not too many, but just enough for today, maybe tomorrow. And we're just fishing close in. And fixed spool. Whether you use a multiplier or fixed sport, if you're just fishing 20-30 yards, it'll make a hell of a lot of difference. Yeah, over there, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're laying a cable over there. That's what they're doing. Didn't get too much distance on it actually, because I'm just experimenting. I've just brought this Westin Explorer cam thing. I got it off eBay. It was second hand. So I didn't pay the full price on it. It looks like it was a gift for somebody and they didn't want it or whatever. So I just experimented that. So I've got that on there as well. So I'm actually filming on the bottom. So just sort of, you know, I'll explain how I've rigged it up on another video probably. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of, you know, show you what's what. Got some water in there. Got minimal tackle, 3-ounce leads in there. And we've just got 2-0 hooks on. Now, there'll be some dabs and flounders out here and things like that. And you should see them tap away. You can snare them on a 2-0 hook, but it's a little bit big. Really what size 1 or 1-0 or something like that. But we're targeting the bass. Do you see anything there? We're approaching bottom of the tide. I don't know what the time is. I should just check what the time is really. Keep an eye on things. I'm planning on fishing till 1:30, so it's a short window. So it's in and around the low water section. See if we can pick something up. If it's going to be hot, usually you'll get it straight away. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think where we are. We're probably only about 20 yards out, so good enough. Good enough. So there you are. There you are. Might have to do some little sort of tweaks to the rig. Stop knot is wants a little bit of the line sort of snipped off a little bit just so it goes to the rings a bit easier. So I've been a bit clumsy. Hello, what's that? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. You know if it's a bass got snared up in it, because that literally just dances away. Even quite a small bass will do that. Just whether they're here or not. It's a nice bit of surf running there for them. Tides are building. So you can only just sort of try your luck really. Like you say, if I don't use up all the bait, what I'll do, I'll put some seawater in it and I'll probably just take it on like that and just bung them in the container in the fridge. And maybe they'll be alright to, you know, for a few more days in the fridge. So we might do that. So I'm not too bothered if we don't succeed today. I might sort of just drag it out a bit and try and let the tides develop a little bit more. But I've seen a few pictures on Facebook of you know, some anglers catching all the way up in the Humber. So you know, you never know. As long as you've got the right bait on, and see how it works. It'll be interesting to see how this camera works as well. It'll be interesting. If it's clear down there. I think it'll be relatively. First 6 inches will be clear, so that's just enough. Even though you look at it like that and it's not, but I think when it's on the bottom filming, you'll see the first bit because I used to catch salmon years ago in New Zealand, and we'd fish dirty water like this with lures, and you'd still get them. So they must be able to see it. Do you know what I'm saying? We're fishing tight to the bottom. Here. Something's twanging on it. There, look. See it? There. Taps, inquiries. Come on. There. I say they're small little flatfish. I've got a size 1 on now because we had a bite, wound it in, and went a lot of lug left. So I've still got a 2-0 hook on the top. So a lot of bass seem to get snared on that one anyway. But it's still just on the one. But let's see what happens. Got a little short trace on there, so it should film. Bit of luck. There. Tappity tap, 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 tap. I'd say he's on there now. If that was me. Bit of shitty weed on the end. Nice rollers coming in there. Bowing a bit. He's probably on, I would say. He was probably on, I would say. Right, let's wind him in. Getting those little taps again. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the Explorer cam next cast, and I'm just going to put it on battery, because that'll be sod's law that your sort of the best time of tide will be when there's no battery in it or something like that. I think the SIM card's all right. I think that'll do like 9 hours or so, 4 hours, so it's not going to run out of SIM card. Yeah, there's a few little taps there. Another interesting thing is to see how this webcam is going to sort of sit on the seabed. I've got to try and get it up right, so I put some weight underneath it. So when it flutters down, it should find its, in theory, unless I need to put a heavier one on. But there's a lot of dabs off this beach usually, so I'm expecting you might see 1 or 2 of them on there. And also with the water clarity, can you see anything on the bottom? That's the thing. I think you'll be able to, just enough to see a bite, see a fish. I've got a short trace on as well. So what I'll try and do, I think before we go, I'll just sort of talk you through how I've rigged it up. So then you can sort of, if somebody wants to go and buy one, then you can see how I've rigged it up. It's common sense really, it's nothing to it. The biggest hazard you've got with it is getting it snagged. So I've deliberately gone to a section of beach away from rough ground. I've got rough ground to my left, but over here it's all sand. So the fishing's probably not so good, but at least I've got half a chance of getting my Explorer cam back. 150 quid. They are brand new. You buy them brand new from shops and things. They're more geared up for like lure fishing, retrieving stuff behind it and things like that. It's got a little nose plug on it, so I don't want to lose it. I just want to try and get some sort of, from my knowledge really. So I don't want to lose it. Just get a few little taps there, you see. So that is mono I'm using. If that's braid, that'd be really dancing, but that's probably little crabs doing that, I'd imagine. There, look. But I put a smaller hook on in case we can get hold of a flatfish. So what I might do, I might just take that. There's a big wave coming there, look. So let's just try and, oh yeah, that's that wave catching it probably. Yeah. Let's put it on charge for a bit. I'll snip it off and put it on charge. Right, so we've got some seawater in with the lugworm now, just to keep it fresh because there's a bit of sun bit of heat today. I think it said about 17 or 18, something like that. So you won't get that here on the coast, but inland you will do, obviously. But it just sort of, I think they're using them baits tomorrow or Sunday, then I really need to get some water on them. But we just had a whiting, and this is the so we're just using the Fenix just to charge up the battery, and it's it gone out there, is it? The battery? What's that mean then? Just trying. I've only just brought it, so I'm just trying to work out what everything is with it. There's the weight I've put attached to it to sort of keep it upright, and so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to unplug it and then put it back in and see what it does. Yeah, so we've got a red, flashing red there. So red means empty, I think. I think when that's blue, it'll sort of do its thing. The blue, red, purple, red, then goes out. So whatever that means, I do not know. So, which, like you say, we're just experimenting with it, really, seeing how well we get on. Carrying on sort of fishing as well. We've just literally just attached it to the shock lead. Got the lead shock leader. Comes with like these tubes. You see that tube there? So I've just slid that down the shock leader, so it's pretty safe. Stop feed, stop knot either end, just to sort of have a little bit of play. So when it sinks down, I've put a weight on the bottom to try and encourage it to sit upright. So whether that's going to work or not, I do not know. We've had a couple of sort of rattles and bites, which I thought were crabs. So we'll see what they were, to a point where I tried to change the 2-0 hook over to a size 1, just to see if there's any flatfish or anything like that around. We should see them anyway with that, but a whiting's just grabbed it with the camera on, so we should have a fish on camera. Although it's a bloody whiting. Never been so pleased to catch a whiting this over. Here. Yeah. There's a few little fish about. There's a few. But we got to bear in mind that whole gear, that gear's like, I paid 90 quid for it, but they retail at 150. So, quite easy to get a snag. But I've gone to a spot which I believe, well, last year, didn't have no snags on it. So, the water's mucky, so that'll be another thing. Will we be able to see anything? That's the thing with all this. Yeah, rattle, rattle, rattle. Yeah, whiting rattles, look. I would imagine. There, look. Yeah. Few little inquiries anyway, so there's a big wave, some waves starting to appear like that. So the bass might arrive, that's what I put it on charge to, the bass might arrive right at the end, right at the back of the session. So there's a little tap there. I think that's £18 line I've got on there, £18. And that's pretty much it really. I find generally this beach is better for bass at the bottom side. But it's very snaggy to my left, and you can see the way it breaks out there, all the way along there. Some hard sort of ground there. I seem to like that. Here, yeah, that's a good knot. There, look, that. Shame I ain't got my camera on it. There. Tap, 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 tap. Let's go see what that is, shall we? Yeah, he's well and truly. It's not bass-like, that's like whiting-like or something. Size 1, so it could be a dad. Let's go and have a little look-see. small hook. Take the big hook. Look. That's quite a nice dab actually. That's not bad, is it? Size one. And we have another dab. Look at this one. This one's an interesting one. I thought it was a flounder for a start or something, but look. It's got little orange speckles on it. And rough that way. That is a dab of all. Beautiful creature. Beautiful creature. Incredible. Okay. Let's see if we can get the hook out. Brilliant. Dabs and flounder and things. Dabs and whiting. There's a white. Put him back. Do we continue fishing or save the bait? Bass don't seem to be there. He's got plenty of food for the big bass, look. So they're going to be there, but how many I do not know. But better off fishing. He's gone. These are gone. So that's what we're dealing with. Beautiful bait. Beautiful succulent bait. Beautiful. Alright. Rod's alright, it's not. It's the day we're they were sea hunting. That was on offer for 50 quid, so I couldn't say no really, but it's not. Advantages of it is it's very light. Sorry, I'm going to stand over here, so wrong one. want to do some rock fishing and things like that, and you don't want to use your best gear up, then something like this is fine. If you're starting out, you know what I mean? These retail at 110 quid, but I got it for 50. The 4-ounce version, but the 3-ounce version is obviously going to be a bit probably a better rod, but if you're going to spend 110 quid, for me, you might as well spend another 110 quid and get a lot better rod. Really, but I didn't want to spend too much, and I've already got other light rods, but I just wanted a second one to fish alongside it, to fish a different bait, to fish like a whole squid, because I usually fish how I fish, like this, but I just wanted a whole squid alongside it, which I could just, or a whole mackerel or something like that, I could just leave it out there for an hour and just not worry about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the rod I sort of, and I didn't want to spend too much money on one to do that purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? But I sometimes think you're better off just getting a real good one. bugger the cost. But the trouble is, this kind of fishing, any sort of rod's going to do the job, really. It's just timing. You just got to be there at the right time, using the right bait, doing the basics well. There's not a lot to it, really. Putting the time in, that's the key one. Being enthusiastic enough to put the time in. I mean, this rod bag's been good from day with this little short rod bag. It's been handy. So just waves just catching it there. It's a bucket. Plenty of lug. Plenty of log. But should be some bass there. Right, so there's a nibble. 1:30, so we're going to call it a day. Rig up for this. How I've rigged up this Westin Explorer cam. Let me see if I can get this filmed right. Right, so just a quick one, just to, without boring you to death. So that's the Westin Explorer cam. Get all the gadgets inside. You get a charge-up lead. You get USBs for Apple and Android. You get the camera, which is there. SIM card goes in there. There's a bib, stabilizer, unscrew, this, that, and the other. So just to let you know roughly how it works. So how I've rigged it up is on here. So this is your tray. So I made a bit of a balls up with this. Not really. So that is a stop knot there. Okay. And that is the smooth. And there's two hooks here. Right, use one hook, two hooks. So it's a size 1 for a flatfish, a slightly bigger hook for a bass. Last year they kept coming on the top hook, so I've rigged it like that. Can tangle a little bit more, but so try that on. Ignore that bead, that shouldn't be there, so forget that. So this is not the ordinary shock leader. Alright, then all you do, there's a stop knot there. It's really straightforward. I'm not going to pretend it's anything different. I'll grab one of these. I've been using one of these. I'll show you what else I've been using with it. You just grab one of these and it has an end cap. Has an end cap which screws in like this. You just tighten it up and that turns it on. That turns the camera on. Alright? So let's just say the camera's on. Alright, so I've turned it on. And all I'm going to do, grab a pair of scissors. Snip off that one, as if we're starting fresh. And all you do, you've got a stop knot here. You could put a bead there, but that'll slow your cast down a bit. might work better with a heavier lead. I've only got a 3-ounce lead on it. This is a bit of an experiment trip, really. What you do, you just slide it up like so. You can put a bead on at this end. Alright, and then all you do, you tie your lead on there. Alright. That's it. You cast it out like that. You just cast it out like this. So on the sea floor, the lead will dig in, and you've got a nice short trace on there, and you should be able to see some fish activity, in theory. But with the tide, you could argue with the tide, you get the bloody Pennell rig, oh my god, out of there, it doesn't want to come out of there. What's it doing there? It's been a bloody pain in the arse, that's what it's doing. Oh my god. I give up. It's so bloody fiddly sometimes. So that's like that. So obviously you've got a short trace, and then your camera's on, by the way. As you can see, it can be pretty straightforward, but it can be fiddly. Alright, and your legs here. Your legs dug in. Alright. See that camera, in order for this camera to be filming properly, it needs to be upright like this. So what I've done, I've experimented with a flat weight, Guru 28 gram flat weight, and I've just taped it with electrical tape to there. Okay, so it sits. So it's going to, when it hits the water. So you want a little bit of play in between the stop knot and your lead. So when the lead hits, it gives the lead on the actual camera a chance to sort of spin, because this can all spin, and to sit upright on the bottom. So your lead's in, and your camera's upright, and your camera's now filming any activity on the lead. Like this. So the current might take it up there, you might take it to the side. Right. But you'd expect doing it this way. I'll find out tonight what any sort of tweaks and things I need to do, and I'll update you. But that's pretty much how it would work for that. And another thing is, you need to fish it where you know there's no snags. So you want to fish it over rough ground. You've got to find some nice sort of soft sand where there's a few fish, you know, your standard flatfish and stuff, nothing too. And so this is 150 quid. Don't whack it too hard, do you know what I'm saying? And if you can just get a couple of casts in a session with it, then I would take that as, you know, it's designed for retrieving. It's only 28 grand cast and retrieving, but I've just, you know, using it for this to see what we can get from this. Anyway, we've got it back, 150 quid. I didn't actually pay that for it. It's on offer. So, I know it works because I've tried it at home. But the question is with it is, there's quite a cloudy bottom there. Will that show up any? Will it show up the first sort of the sand in the first 6 inches? Will it show enough for you to see a fish pick up the bait and things like that when the water's murky? We'll find out tonight. I think it'll be close. I think you should be able to see enough. I think we might be quite surprised what we can see. We can and can't see. So I know there's a whiting's grabbed it, and let's see if it only films for about an hour and 20 minutes. So I've only got this received the other day, so I'm trying to work out what is what works and what doesn't. So I'm just giving you what I'm telling you now is, you know, it's not the end conclusion of it, you know. So yeah, get a few bits of sand in there and stuff like that. So I hope it's sort of beach friendly. But we shall see. We shall see. So no, that's it. So another video there. complete angler 2. I'll give you a bit more of a rundown on the next session with that. We've had, what we had today, we've had 2 dabs, 2 whiting and a pouting in about 2 hours. No bass. Alright, just fishing 1 rod. So it's you know, it's been a little bit what's the word? Could have been trying out some different gear and stuff. It's the, you know, it's been a bit messy. I've got saturated, and you know, it's not an organised sort of session, so to speak. But generally, those species, they're the species you're going to get throughout the tide. This sort of, the bass are, for me round here, they're not quite on it. I'm sure there's a few floating around, but as we all know, if the sea's really pumping, that's the time to do it. That's the other thing. I'm not sure how well this thing's going to work when the sea's really pumping. I do not know. We shall see. Okay, all right, thanks for watching, guys, and I will speak to you later.